Okay, the bench is once again tidy. Everything's back together. I've got the amp back in. I'm going to put this back together. Well, I put it back together. I'm just going to plug the amp in. Make sure I'm not touched against anything about metal there. Metal. No, we're not. Okay. Power off. Batteries on. Hopefully you can see what I'm up to. Bit nerve-wracking, but you know. Always is after you fix something, the first switch on, will it or won't it work? Will it go up in a cloud of smoke? Right. Let's go with FM first. So I'm not going to get any interference with that. I'm going to just hook up a little bit of wire there to act as an aerial. Crack it on. Well, sounds quiet.
It's traffic from Devon's railway station.
BBC Radio. On the A30 X-Band, one lane's closed between the Meldon Junction and Oakhampton services. That's due to a broken down vehicle.
Doesn't sound good, does it?
The man we called the Frisbee.
Okay, so it did sound good to start with. Might be, hang on. Yeah, I just gotta connect that wire back on there. I forgot all about that one. That's why you don't really want to sometimes step away from something for too long, because you can literally forget where you are. So I've been on this one constant for probably about 3 hours now. That's how involved this board and that one was. What a pain. I'm pretty sure everything is connected back up fine on that, so just a case of tacking this one back on here. Also, when it might be shorting out on these screws here. Let me see if I can get something to just rest underneath that. Stop it shorting. Just pop this up underneath it. There. I feel a bit happier now with that. Try again.
preserve, because these tapes were very fragile, and now, I mean, they're over 40 years old. I was very surprised when I heard the tapes.
Oh my god, that is amazing.
If you recorded a dead life, or recorded, While My Guitar Gently Weeps, or a song like that again next door in Studio 2, you wouldn't necessarily do a better recording of it. And I think, in fact, if I'd had more than 4 tracks when I was recording Sgt. Pepper, I don't think it would have been any better than it turned out. I think the music itself is so...
This is everything.
Every time we fight, I know it's not right.
And I think the Commission says it's unlikely anyone might be persuaded to vote a different way by the image on this leaflet. The watchdog has, nevertheless, told Bristol City Council not to use it again, but with reports of similar leaflets dropping on doormats around the country.
Swanee, how I love you, my dear old Swanee. I give a word to thee among the folk.
When Fools Rush In, which I thought was a completely perfect thing, a perfect sort of record. I never heard anything like it. And they were big, they were sort of big deals.
I am well pleased with that. Amazing. Right. Let's get the dial pal back and see what we're like on the other bands. So, that's obviously VHF. Let's try, we'll go left to right, so we'll go long wave next. So we need to turn off a few things. But if you've watched Better Call Saul, but yeah, anything electric's got to go off. We're on long wave. Right.
Sur les attentats du 13 novembre commence le jeune homme à la barbe fournie. Nous, on n'a aucune responsabilité. Il précise qu'avec ses amis, ils sont tous...
Mais la vraie responsabilité, elle incombe à un gouvernement qui s'est trompé, oui, monsieur Julie, sur la loi El Khomri.
Certainly picking up some French stations there.
International jurisdictions have been criticized by African leaders, and now that a local court...
Dramatic one, in which 550 people are missing, presumed dead as well. And what happened there was that there were 2 boats, one was pulling the
Well,
other.
that's pulling in stations fine.
Which has been controlled by IS since January 2014. There are fears for the fate of thousands of civilians believed to be trapped in central Fallujah.
It's directional, so I can't move it at the moment.
Baghdad.
The Iraqi government is clearly determined to recapture Fallujah.
God, that's virtually nil volume. So long wave is a plus, all working. Medium wave. Let's start over this end of the band.
Getting into difficulty and hundreds and thousands of people who've died over the time they've been trying to make this.
How do you get to the guitar hard days night? Let's use the back. Let's use a...
have a really competitive match if you like. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's fine. It's pulling in a lot of stations. Trouble is, it's directional, and I need the radio up on its stand to rotate it. Really. Okay, final band. Shortwave. Let's give it a go.
Together and made us sit together in heavenly places in Christ Jesus. He might show the exceeding riches of his grace and
Réconciliation franco-allemande a déclaré hier.
Very sensitive.
Giovanna Benedito of the humanitarian group Save the Children spoke with us from Sicily after survivors rescued by the Italian Navy arrived at Italian ports.
They told us that they left from Libya on Thursday night, and they were under.
تعبوا الشباب فيها جزاهم الله خير في الفروع وحققوا يعني هو والله اشوف انها جدا مناسبه يعني مو بس من البريد كذا للبريد يستعمل اوراق يشوف فيها نواقص يرجعها ثاني مره.
Oh my god.
شاعكم السلام. وقوله سيستم عندك سيستم انت لما جواب دلجتها.
Well, you can hear it as I'm flicking through. Hundreds of channels.
Also, the kind of support of Vistitlana Wood County Council,
Wow. What can I say? That is, sound quality is amazing. I can't believe that. That is so good. 2 speakers as well. It's a monster. As I say, I'm not sure what that amplifier's rated at. It's actually got 4 output transistors on it. I don't think it's stereo. I I might be wrong. It may be stereo, but normally with stereo you get an indicator light, but as I say, I've got no instructions for this one. All I've got is the servicing guide. So there we are. What a beauty. So it's not quite going back together yet. I've got a few more jobs to do. I've got to clean this volume pot because, as you heard, it's a bit scratchy. These are quite, the bass and treble controls are very harsh to feel. I mean, they sound fine, they don't sound scratchy, but they need a bit of switch clean and lubricant in there. So that's those 3 I've got to do. I am going to look at the capacitors because some of these look pretty ropey. I mean, they're probably okay. I mean, to be fair, it does sound amazing, so I could probably get away without recapping it, but as I say, while it's out of the chassis, I'd be silly not to, really. So, but as you heard, it is up and running and working. That was a lot of work, but very fiddly. Well, you know, I had to step away from it a couple of times because it was doing my head in. That's the thing, if you get one of these jobs that are fiddly, don't just plough on regardless, just step away from it and come back, and all falls into place. Yeah, this could be taking pride of place. Very good. As I say, I've got to clean this up as well. There's a bend in the aluminium there. I've got to clean this up, and I've got to try and find some knobs that fit it, the correct ones. They're probably the same as like the Hacker Sovereigns, the old ones with the grub screw in it. I'm pretty sure they're the same as that. I've got some other Dynatrons in the other room, so I might do a bit of robbing later.